आपको बहुत बड़ा है अभी देखिए।
एक सेकेंड, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Shweta ma'am, I will call you back. No problem. Hello, Yogesh.
हेलो।
Yeah, Yogesh, you can hear me. ठीक
यही
है,
सर।
इसमें
आपको पोस्ट मिल गया क्या?
Correct. So I'll check out like who from the audience end is coordinating. I'll make them the co-host as well.
ओके, गॉट इट।
Great. Thank you, Yogesh. Thanks a lot.
थैंक यू।
Excellent. Okay, Prince IT, please raise your hand so that I can co-host you. BRIMS IT, BRIM.
Hello.
Yes, yes. Hi, Ajoy here. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. What is your name?
Tanmay Joshi.
Tanmay. Hi, hi.
Hello, sir.
So, Tanmay, you are the co-host now. So
Yes, sir.
you can keep adding your students whenever they come in. Yeah,
Okay, sir.
no problem. Hi, Tanmay.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, you just let everybody in and just let me know when to begin. Yeah. So
Yes,
please
sir.
give me a
Sure.
call up once
Yes, sir.
and we will begin.
Sure, sir.
So Devesh and Dhiraj from my team has joined. Devesh will be a co-presenter, so I have made them co-host, Tanmay. You can check that, please. Hi, Devesh. Thank you for joining us. We might start in another 5 minutes or so.
Surely, Ajoy.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Dr. V.N. Bedekar Institute of Management Studies, I am Mr. Tanmay Joshi. Welcome you all at today's guest session on blockchain-enabled startup and entrepreneurship, jointly organized by ISE and eCell of Dr. V.N. BRIMS and Crypto University. So for today's session, we have two eminent guest speakers, Mr. Ajoy Pathak and Mr. Devesh Chawla. Mr. Pathak is a digital assets and blockchain enthusiast who has been in the cryptocurrency learning and education space since 2017. Being an advanced learner of the new space, he enjoys helping the students participate in this domain by sharing his knowledge and experience. With a career in research into financial services, trading, and risk management spanning over 2 decades, Mr. Pathak adds value with his comprehensive experience of the financial markets while motivating students to understand, learn, and innovate in this space to become leaders of tomorrow. Introducing our second guest speaker, Mr. Devesh Chawla. He is an engineer strategist, a mentor, an investor, TEDx speaker, and an efficient leader. Mr. Chawla is a highly sought after speaker, a very good listener, and he is highly regarded for his brisk planning and execution. He is the founder and CEO of Chatur Ideas and advisor with Crypto University. He has been felicitated with multiple national and international awards. So without further ado, let's have Mr. Pathak and Mr. Chawla to enlighten us with their experience and expertise.
Thank you, Tanmay. Thank you so much for the lovely introduction. Welcome, Devesh. Great to have you
Thanks,
here.
Ajoy.
And very warm welcome and very good afternoon to all the faculty and students who are in this session today. I hope it will be both intuitive and useful for all of you. Now, blockchain and cryptocurrencies have really come to the forefront of happening things in the last few years. And blockchain is touted to be one of the most disruptive technologies that is available in the markets today. A lot has been said about blockchain, good, bad, ugly, and also about cryptocurrencies. A lot of fear has come into the place. Lot of opportunities have been showcased, uh, and good, bad, ugly, everything is going around. If you look into the current cryptocurrency and blockchain space, there is a huge amount of research and development which is going on. And every day we see about 5 or 6 new coins being generated and added to the already, fat cryptocurrency purse of almost over 20,000 coins and tokens put together. So this space is really buzzing at this point of time. It's growing very fast and drawing in huge amount of attention. Sometimes it becomes very difficult to how to place oneself into this entire, the whole marketplace, the whole set of events which is happening. And therefore, what we believe is that information and knowledge is basically the core facilitators to enable somebody to decide how to place themselves into this technology, to understand this technology, and extract the best out of the opportunity which this technology presents in front of us. What blockchain is and what cryptocurrencies are is a very wide topic for deliberation, for discussion and things like that. So today we will restrict ourselves from discussing what blockchain is and what cryptocurrencies are. What we will try to understand is what is the future of blockchain and cryptocurrencies, and we as students and faculty, how we could, what is the need for us to learn about blockchain and cryptocurrencies. And if we have to learn, what are the kind of skills that we should take to participate into this area, what are the various roles that we can participate into, what are the skills needed, and how should we go about acquiring those skills which will make us industry ready to participate into this new area in a fruitful manner. So that's the premise of today's discussion that I have in store for you. So why blockchain is what is we will be focusing on today. So we will try to see how blockchain will proliferate in the next decade, kind of a thing. Is we are just in the first half of the decade, which we are going through. It's like early 2022. So to understand, to have a kind of understanding about where we are actually proceeding to, let me share some data and figure with you. And these are not the data which I have generated. So, I mean, I know people will not trust me that much, but people can trust PwC, which is PricewaterhouseCoopers, a big analyst of the world today. And please download this report, Time to Trust report. You can get it on PwC website. It was published in October 2020, and go through the entire report. But I'll try to take some excerpts from the report to give you a picture of what is going to come. But the report itself is much, much more elaborate and interesting to go through, which will give you a very clear, crisp idea about how things are going to happen in the future and what are the sensitivities around it. Now, PwC says that the blockchain industry, blockchain technology alone has got the potential of adding about $1.76 trillion to the global GDP by 2030. So it will start off with with an adoption to about $422 billion by 2025 and will proliferate to $1.76 trillion till this point of time. Now, for me, if you ask me, I mean, how do I rate this assessment? This was good in October 2020, but a few significant things have happened into the cryptocurrency market after the publication of this report, and that needs to get factored in. Now, this area is continuously changing, continuously innovating, and new products are coming and hitting, new opportunities are being created. So just after October 2020, the last quarter of 2020, we saw that the cryptocurrency markets went into a very significant rally, and the total market capitalization of the cryptocurrency market crossed $3 trillion, which is currently around $2.5 trillion at current prices. But that was one significant move, which gave rise to a lot of new projects in this domain. We have also seen the decentralized finance segment boom over $10 billion in terms of total value locked into those projects, which itself is a huge thing. In middle of 2021, we saw the NFT markets really pick up in a huge manner. And towards the end of 2021, we have seen that a lot of metaverse projects came underway. And even we have seen like Facebook kind of changed its name into Meta in sync with its plans to go and address the needs of the metaverse. Bloomberg says that the metaverse market alone is going to be around $800 billion by 2024-25, which is a big number in itself. So putting all these developments together and seeing the kind of economic interest in these developments, I believe that the global GDP boost is going to be much larger than $1.76 trillion. So we can safely assume that $1.76 trillion is the lower estimate of how much of an economic activity will be added around blockchain technology in the coming decade. One more interesting figure is that in the survey, PwC reports that 61% of the CEOs that they have surveyed put digital transformation among the top 3 priorities of their list of priorities. Now, I believe that if you have to do the survey today again, it will be not less than anywhere in 90-95%, because last couple of years, last 1.5 years, we have seen a digital adoption of businesses happening rapidly across the world because of pandemic pressures. Now, that put into perspective, people have discovered a lot of efficiencies in digital way of executing things, and they want to build up upon it. They don't want to abandon it just because the pressures of pandemic are away. So the new normal is basically going to be a hybrid kind of a thing. And talking about that, we already see some very interesting developments, like let's say Accenture. Accenture has created a 9th floor in their main office of their corporate building. Now the 9th floor does not exist as such. So the 9th floor is basically a virtual meeting room for all their external consultant and business partners, in which they kind of create a metaversical atmosphere in which, holograms of the people who want to join a meeting can come in and meet, discuss, and take it forward. So these things are already happening. Blockchain adoption or adoption of new technologies and pushing them into the mainstream business has already begun. And if digital transformation is not accepted today, these corporations run the risk of becoming irrelevant ones in the very near future, just like what happened to Kodak and Xerox, because they did not want to change with the necessities that were, created because of technological innovations at their point of time. So Kodak, which was an analog filmmaker and it was a market leader at this point of time, just did not believe that digital photography could become so popular that it will totally denecessitate film production, that analog film production, and it went bankrupt. So that's the risk that they run. And if they need to undergo through this digital transformation, whom are they going to depend upon? The skilled manpower. They will be needing some skilled manpower. So this kind of economic activity will relate into or translate into a huge amount of job addition. So PwC also tells us the figures that they estimate as the total global job production or job addition that will happen because of blockchain technology in the next decade. So the cumulative estimate of theirs, now that is $1.76 trillion, which is the lower estimate as we discussed just now, is around 42 million jobs worldwide, of which India's share is about 3.2 million jobs. Now, I'm a big bullish guy about India and its education system. I feel that not only this 3.2 million jobs are going, this 3.2 million figure is going to be a larger one, but also the Indian students will go and occupy most of these jobs which are offered by, the European and the US countries and even in the rest of the world. So taking away the 11.4 million jobs, which is like kind of job addition in the China, I don't see any other place where the Indians can't go and replace the skilled manpower. And this is just the private enterprise. In the public domain also, there's a lot of blockchain adoption which is happening. So please download this report also, which is the NITI Aayog report, India Blockchain Strategy, published in January 2020. And along with it, please do download the blockchain strategy as proposed by the government Department of Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, MITI. They also have a report about blockchain strategy recommendations for Indian government. So in the NITI Aayog, which was in January 2020, quite a while back now, they were discussing about putting together an national infrastructure for deployment of blockchain, which is what they called as India chain. Correspondingly, in the MITI report, you will see that they are actually laying down the building blocks of this India chain, which was proposed by NITI Aayog. And they're talking about integrating the existing systems like UAI, DI, UPI, and other things into this blockchain fold. Because the government has come to realize that blockchain technology has got a lot to offer. All these complicated government processes, which are very costly affairs today, for example, procurement system or PDS system or healthcare records, land registry records. And these legacy systems are suffering from non-upgradation of data from nobody knows at what point of time. They need an upgrade. They need a digital upgrade. They need a tamper-proof upgrade. They need a corruption-proof system. And that is exactly what blockchain provides to them. So keeping in tune with what the government talks about, that we want to be low on government and high on governance, I think this is the technology things people are talking to. In World Economic Forum studies, our Prime Minister goes and talks about digital devolution. Please check out YouTube. You will find that, speech of Mr. Narendra Modi in World Economic Forum. He talks about digital devolution. The digital devolution is basically decentralization to a large extent, more efficiency coming into the play, more cost effectiveness in disbursement of public services. And that is what is happening. So there are jobs which are not going to open up only in the private sector, but also in the public sector as well, because these proof of concepts about how to have a PDS system on blockchain or how to have a procurement system on blockchain, these are going to need a large number of skilled manpower to go and satisfy the kind of jobs that one needs to do to get this blockchain integration done. So that's a huge opportunity we are talking about. And I am kind of quite bullish on this entire thing. But you also need to understand what is the kind of roles that you will be playing in this area. So there will be core IT functions and IT support systems, business support systems like analyst, legal consultant, quality engineer, developer, architect, administrator, UX designer, quality engineer, and so on and so forth. But what I'd really like to draw your attention to is that Industry 4.0 development, if you go to the World Economic Forum site and you figure out like what they're talking about, the fourth industrial revolution is a cyber social phenomena in which both the technological development and the social habit, these two are kind of feeding onto each other. So someplace the technology is developing certain habits, some certain societal habits, and perhaps anticipating the kind of need for an progressive social habit, technology is evolving itself. So that's a very interesting cyber social interplay that we observe. And that thing is in motion at this point of time. It is not finished. That industrial 4.0 revolution is already happening. We are in place. Today, we do not exist only in the real world like we used to do, let's say 10 years back, 20 years back. We have a parallel present in the digisphere also. We spend quite a lot of time online with our mobile phones, in social media, and things like that. That have become an integrated part of our life. We are becoming habituated to that. And this will draw us deeper, more immersive kind of an experience. So tomorrow we'll just not be gaming or having fun or interacting socially on the digital media or metaverse. We will be studying, learning, undergoing training, doing meetings. We will be shopping, whatnot, with virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, and such technologies. So we are in for very exciting times ahead, but to deliver these exciting times ahead to the society, a core group of facilitators is needed. We need to have somebody who understands both sides of the technology and can become, good content writers, can become good social marketing managers, can become good community managers, because these technologies are inclusive in nature. They build and grow around communities, and people need to learn about them. So we also need large amount of trainers, educators in this space. So along with the core blockchain jobs, these are some peripheral activities which will also draw a huge amount of trained manpower to execute very critical functions around this technology. Now that said, what are the skills that will be required? Now this is not an exhaustive list. This is just an indicative one. And you don't have to go through, learn every one of them. So basically, the skills which will be required will be bespoke or customized to the kind of role that one will, carve out for themselves. And then an understanding of blockchain technology, smart contract languages like Solidity, some coding languages, some blockchain development tools, DevOps tools, cloud, because everything is going to happen in the cloud, or distributed storage like Storage, or things like that. And you also need to have some other skill sets also like fintech technologies, understanding of cryptography, how computer networks work, things like that. How finance works. These will be like additional benefits of putting the technology into the relevance of the business and executing it. Analyzing the current system and seeing how can one draw more efficient systems by inclusion of blockchain into their current core systems. So these are some kind of skills required. Now you may ask that, well, this is a long list. How do we go about that with your current curriculum? So that's kind of a roadmap for you. You have to take one step at a time, which is the correct step to be taken. So you start off with blocks and chains, who to trust in the system and things like that. And then you gradually proceed on to what are the components of blockchain? How do they function? What is proof of work? What is proof of stake? How do they work? What are the efficiencies of it? What are the drawbacks of these systems? And then once you have a complete understanding, you can start looking at how blockchain can be used in different businesses, applications, how blockchain can be used for the government, and so on and so forth. Once you have a complete understanding of the technology and how it can be used, then it will be time to get into the thick of things by learning some languages, becoming a blockchain expert, acquiring some development knowledge, understanding process re-engineer, how the existing system can be changed into the blockchain-enabled system, then doing some internships to have some hands-on experience of designing, deploying, and blockchain things, developing blockchain projects. Once you have a good understanding of what is required, and now you can view the market with a new understanding that, well, blockchain can lend efficiencies in these segments in a much better way, and these are the tools that I should be using, then is the time to take specialized programs. Let's say, for example, you want to develop a DAO, decentralized autonomous organization, or let's say Cardano, you will need to learn Haskell. What to do becomes much more easier then. Once you have this kind of understanding and you're pretty much sure that, well, this is how the ecosystem is proceeding. I see a lot of value in Cardano, so let me learn Cardano. Let me learn Tezos. Let me learn Polkadot, so and so forth. Okay, so one should go first from the basics, understanding the core concepts behind the technology. The intuition has to be developed, and then take a deeper dive into specialized roles and get into the project mode and so on and so forth. How may we help you? So at the outset, let me just declare, although we come from the legacy which has created some of the most successful exchanges in the world, we are not a cryptocurrency exchange. And we are not a cryptocurrency coin either. So who are we? So CryptoWire is a wire service. It has got two arms, Crypto University and Crypto TV. In Crypto TV, it's all infotainment. So you download the CryptoWire app, you can go to the Crypto TV format, and you find a lot of videos continuously being uploaded over there. And all the videos are about crypto. So somewhere there is an industry expert who is coming and giving his views that how he sees blockchain proliferation in India. What are the use cases? How can blockchain be used in supply chain industry? Let's say, for example, some educative content is also there. You also get very interesting articles like what is metaverse, what is NFT, what is Shiba Inu, and so on and so forth. So this is one very easy and entertaining way of gathering information. Number one. If you need to have a deeper dive into the knowledge segment and understand it much better, then after downloading the CryptoWire application, you go to the Crypto University page. We have curated some global courses from you over here. And one in particular, I'd like to emphasize everyone to please go through this course. This is one by MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, a series of lectures by Professor Gary Gensler. Why I recommend this course is because this is a very nice course to develop an intuition for blockchain. A very good perspective can be developed. And these are like a series of video lectures which are put up over there. So it's like, kind of consider it watching like Game of Thrones, season 1, episode 1, 2, 3, 4, up to episode 16, 17. Learn it at your own pace. Go through it over and over again. Try deeper to understand about the construct, the technology behind all this, new things which is happening around. And then you also have CryptoWire, which gives you price, news, updates, information, arbitrage opportunities across exchanges, and so on and so forth. Now, this is also a very important segment because unless and until you keep track of what is happening at this point of time, why is Solana more popular, and so on and so forth, it becomes very difficult for you to make up your mind on what are the possible ways that you should go ahead with. So that's it. Apart from these things, what we can do with our partner institutions is like we can conduct faculty development programs for faculty. We can collaborate for research. We can do blockchain labs and develop center of excellences. We can do immersion programs. For students, we obviously are going to bring in a lot of courses and programs, not only from the stable of Crypto University, but also global courses, global certifications. Everything will be available. Hands-on training and development and things like that will be available. We'll be organizing boot camps, hackathons. We will be organizing for internship, placements, and incubations if the projects are really that good. And we will also be looking forward for student events around this core topic, blockchain and cryptocurrencies. And if you're embarking on such, events, keeping such events, we'd be happy to sponsor your events. So all these things are there and many more depending upon whatever our capabilities are. With such kind of things, I'd like to welcome all of you to the chain, to a very bright future for all of us. Thank you so much. Let me just invite my friend Devesh from Chatur Ideas to come and share his understanding of this market with you. And he has got some very interesting things to talk about. Welcome, Devesh.
Thanks, Ajoy. It was indeed a very insightful session. The way you talked about all the opportunities that CryptoWire brings in, Crypto University brings into the table, and about the job prospects, I am sure it's indeed a very enlightening session for all the students here. So, how many of you guys here in the audience agree with Ajoy that there is a huge career opportunity in blockchain and cryptocurrency? You all may just show with the raise of your hands. So Prabhakar agrees.
They're not yet totally convinced.
Okay, there are 2 people who agree to this. That's it. How many of you guys don't agree with Ajoy that there is no career opportunity in blockchain and cryptocurrency? Okay, how many of you guys have a neutral view? You don't agree and you agree both.
Or I can see that you're trying to extract an answer from them, but they are like not responding. Well, no, that's fine. That's fine. Yes.
That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So great. So, I agree to some extent with Ajoy and don't agree also to some extent. So let me tell you first why I agree with Ajoy, because he's a friend and I have to talk good things about him. So let me tell you the reasons why I agree with him.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So basically, if you see, there is a huge scope because it's the new trend. And when such a new trend comes in, people should capitalize on it. So let's talk about some industries which came in and people didn't capitalize and what all they lost in. So for instance, when e-commerce started off, when I'm talking about e-commerce, I'm referring to this segment where people buy and sell online goods or products. So people were like, who was going to shop online? Today, everything is just a call away. Now you shop online, you have to wait for a few days for things to come in. Let's pick up the phone and a kirana wala delivers things at home. We just go to the mall, pick up our size t-shirt, shirt, whichever we want, check the size, and we buy it. Everything is so convenient. Why would somebody go online? Today, when we are in 2022, how things have changed. People go online, people know their sizes, so they shop online. They have a return policy, so they know if they don't like it, they can return it. Today, a kirana store takes at least an hour or two to deliver goods to you. There are apps like Zepto, Blinkit, which get you delivered in 10 minutes. And literally, they get delivered in 10 minutes. They are much faster and everything is moved online. People who capitalized on this, or people who built their career in this, have already built a fortune for themselves, which always makes sense to start early. Another such example could be of digital wallets. When they started off, people weren't sure about how much promising would they be. But today in 2022, when we see everyone has a digital wallet and life can't be imagined without a digital wallet. Today, if you go to say a Naril Pani wala, you may want to touch his Naril Pani and drink, but you may not want to give him cash because you feel it may be unhygienic. In that case, you ask him, do you have a Paytm wallet or do you have a Google Pay? And he says yes, and you transfer it to him, right? Because you feel it's more hygienic. And it's so normal. Today, transacting through your phone has become the norm. People just can't imagine going back to just using cash, credit cards, etc. So how things have changed, right? And whoever were the earlier people who built their careers with them have built a fortune. So the employees who were with Paytm, when the stock got listed on the National Stock Exchange or the Bombay Stock Exchange, what did they get? They all became crorepati's, right? Because they had this earlier equity in the company. So that's how things change. Likewise, today in blockchain and cryptocurrency, if you would want to be a part of the bandwagon, want to pick up a job at this earlier stage, it might help you to grow in your career. So it makes sense to, not leave this bus and wait for another one, but just hop onto it and enjoy the journey. And that's what is the career part or the career prospects in blockchain and cryptocurrency. But for me, life is a little different here because I have been an entrepreneur. I have been working with a lot of startups, been investing into them, helping them to raise funds, work with thousands of startups, have more than 1,500 investors from India and overseas markets. So for me, what I think things is from an entrepreneurial angle. I feel there is more scope to create your ventures in this field, and they can be far more rewarding than just picking up a job. I feel, why do we be a job seeker if we can be a job creator? And one has to just think out of the box. I'm not sure if you guys would have heard about Orkut. You might be too young at that point of time, but Facebook came and it just took over Orkut, right? Orkut was the only social networking platform which was one of the most famous in the world at that point of time. But Facebook came with a better execution and took it over. Similarly, if you guys can think of something really different in the blockchain or the cryptocurrency domain, you might just take over things. And sometimes it'll be really simple. Look at WhatsApp. WhatsApp is a simple messaging platform. There is nothing so complicated about it, but simple things make a difference. Today, WhatsApp is being used so commonly across the globe. Just a simple service, which they just magnified it. Similarly, you guys don't have to do anything rocket science, but simple things you can do in blockchain and cryptocurrency that you can implement to scale up your own ventures. So guys, can you think of any ideas that you all can work upon in the realm of blockchain and cryptocurrency? I would like to hear from the audience. You guys can put in the chat box as well if you guys don't want
Or I
to.
have allowed, people can unmute themselves and can talk. If you want to talk, you can unmute yourself and talk. And it will be very nice, if you can make this a little bit of an interactive. So we get to know what you're thinking, it's so much better within a classroom, but we'll have to do whatever we can do. So we can use the best of the situation. So guys,
And please feel free to ask any questions, any feedback. Don't think कि मतलब लोग क्या सोचेंगे. आपसे पूछो. In fact, taking the first step is the most critical thing that you can do. Whether it's your job or whether it's entrepreneurship, anywhere, just take the first step. Just ask anything that comes to your mind or give any suggestion that comes to your mind. Let me repeat myself. If you guys missed out what I was asking, you guys can think of what ventures can you build in the realm of blockchain and cryptocurrency. Any suggestions, any ideas? Okay, let me share a couple of ideas and then let me ask you guys again. So for example,
I can do something in gaming.
Like what, Ajoy? Tell me.
Okay, I can do some gaming projects, basically.
Okay.
Today, a lot of things is happening in gaming. So people are spending a lot of time in games.
Absolutely.
And games can constitute such a diverse area where, information tampering could be very harmful.
Perfect.
So I want to do something which will keep the information intact within a blockchain kind of a thing. And it will build a kind of, data or sanity for a game to keep going ahead,
Perfect.
with a continuity kind of a thing.
In fact, you can mix gaming and business together. So when people want to sell or buy NFTs, they can actually do it through a gamified way where they can enter into a metaverse. They go to a dealer, they say, this is an NFT I wish to buy. He talks to them, he transacts, and you can do a transaction. So this way you integrate every bit of the blockchain to ensure a more pleasurable and fun event.
Correct. And I believe our young kids will have much better ideas than we old.
Absolutely. In fact, now gaming has moved to such a different level that if you see nowadays games, people interact with each other. There's a story being built and you become the main character in the story. And then you decide how you want to take the movie in which direction. So things have evolved so much in gaming. I'm sure with blockchain and cryptocurrency getting integrated into this, life will become much more pleasurable in this metaverse. Another thing that I can think of, medical records. How about putting everything on the blockchain? No hacking, no fudge data, authentic data. Life becomes much more simpler, right? In the real estate space, we can do this, right? We can have all the records maintained on the blockchain. That will make it more authentic, more sensible, more easy to access, and no fudging and hacking happening there too. Any other ideas you can think of? Prabhakar, you wish to say something? You can unmute yourself or you can put in the chat box. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, Prabhakar. Who's
Sir,
that?
along with Tanmay, I'm Pankaj Nandurkar sitting over here.
Yes.
Sir, I have one query. Can we help farmers with this blockchain technology so that whatever they produce reach to the end customers and end customers come to know about where it has come from? And
Beautiful.
what was the money transaction has gone in between, where wastage has gone, or where we can reduce the wastage with the help of blockchain technology?
Wow. I think that makes a lot of sense because if you see, today, a lot of people have tried to solve this issue. They are trying to reach, it's called farmers to directly to the end consumer. But what happens in this thing is still there is a lot of spillages in between, and there are still a lot of middlemen that have to be taken care of. But if all of this is put through a blockchain, I'm sure that one can actually track the entire process and ensure that there is no middleman. It happens right from the farmer to the end user. So all of this can move onto the blockchain, absolutely right. And since we are an agri country and where our main production is about agriculture, we are an agricultural country. So for us, if we put this on blockchain, I'm sure this is going to make life simpler for all the farmers, for all the consumers, and also ensure that inflation is in check. So I think you brought in a very, very important point, and this should actually be used to scale up business in the agricultural domain. I mean, even the government should think of adopting something like this. Great point.
Thank you, sir.
In fact, things have just moved to such a different level that one can think about. Like JP Morgan Chase has opened its own bank in the metaverse, right? Which no one thought of. There is Shiba Inu themed fast food restaurants, right? So if you see that people can actually order food in the metaverse and use cryptocurrency to make payments, how things have changed, how things have moved. And as we talk, more and more developments are happening. I think this is the best time for everyone here to just drive onto this new trend and capitalize upon it. In fact, let me talk to you about another guy called Samuel Fried. He's based in the US. This guy is an MIT pass out. A few years ago, he just wanted to figure out ways to become rich, and he stumbled upon Bitcoin. And he saw the price of Bitcoin was trading at $11,000 in the Japanese exchange. And he's like, okay, let me see what is in the American exchange, because he's from the US. He saw it's $10,000. He was like, wow, this is a clear-cut arbitrage opportunity in front of my eyes. How can I not benefit out of this? And why didn't people notice this? He said, let me be the first ones to capitalize on this. We started buying at $10,000 in the US exchange and selling at $11,000 in the Japanese exchange. He did that with a huge quantity on a daily basis. Today, he runs a crypto exchange under the name FTX, and he's just 29 years of age today, and his net worth is more than $17.5 billion. That's how things have changed. That's how things have moved. In fact, small little things can ensure that you can just scale up your business dramatically and drastically. So do you guys have any such ideas that you think that you all can build upon? And we are more than happy to support you and guide you on that. In fact, if you see there are a lot of startups coming in this domain, you look at most of the startups which are trying to build a NFT marketplace or create an ecosystem for helping Bitcoins or Ethereum or Ripple or any one of them, you're seeing the way things are just progressing, because people are welcoming with open hands. Today, if you look at governments are supporting this, if you're seeing international transactions are happening. Earlier, people had a myth that this was just used on the dark web. But today, it's used for all legitimate transactions across the globe, right from your Walmart to your Dubai ATMs to your McDonald's, to everyone is accepting crypto payments. There are, in fact, some companies where employees are saying that we are happy to get crypto payments, and transactions are happening. Not started in India, though. Of course, Ajoy is asking his company to start paying him in cryptocurrency, but it is slowly and steadily that may become the normal way of transacting. So fair enough. That's enough from my side. Any questions that you guys have, Ajoy and I are more than willing and welcome to answer them.
I really love that idea of, putting our farm produce onto a blockchain and driving efficiency throughout the value chain. I'm holding on to that idea. Thanks, whosoever suggested that. Very well suggested.
In fact, when you said I love the idea, I thought you love the idea of taking money in Bitcoins, but the agriculture point is equally good.
Yeah, and that's very much relevant to our country today.
Very true, very true.
So I have a question.
Please go ahead.
So can there be blockchain parking networks for parking places where people or businesses can list their parking spaces for rent?
So I'll tell you, I mean, very, very interesting, Tanmay. See, what blockchain at the end of the day is, the blockchain is a ledger, correct? It records transactions. So wherever transactions are happening, you will need a ledger. And wherever you need a ledger, you can have a digital ledger, which does not rely on a third party as a source of trust, but depends on cryptographic proof of transaction as a source of trust and can be deployed very easily. So yes, I mean, think of that situation. Parking places, parking staffs, they also need to maintain a ledger, right? How many hours it was parked out for, what was the entry time, what was the exit time, and so on and so forth. Yes, it could be put onto a blockchain and micro payments could be enabled through it, just like RFID, toll tax collection and things like that. All things are getting digital in nature. Why not this one? Interesting point, very much. Thank you. So somebody's put on the chat about
Thank
crypto
you, sir.
mining and tax, Nikhil. So 30% tax is on cryptocurrency trading. So buying and selling it just like any other speculative instrument like stocks or commodities. So you buy low, sell high in the price and you make money. The mining is something which is you build the ledger. So those are two different things. How to buy land in metaverse or decentralized? Okay, very simple. Uh, are you playing in Decentraland? First answer that to me, Prabhakar. Do you have a MetaMask wallet? Prabhakar. So you need to have a MetaMask wallet. You need to link your MetaMask wallet to Decentraland Mana wallet. And once you have that, you need to transfer your Ethereums into Mana coins. You can do that over any exchange. And then you can select a property and you can just see what the prices are. Transfer that Mana from your wallet to, if it is somebody else holding that particular virtual land, to their wallet or to the, Mana land wallet or the pool wallet, and then you can own that land as an NFT. That is there. Want to buy some land over there? I want to buy some oil land in Decentraland. I'm looking at the Saudi Arabian region. So I'll hit on oil and will become rich tomorrow in the virtual reality, in the metaverse. Nice, nice. Anything else, guys? Great. Thank you for such an interesting discussion. Loved it, actually. Very interesting ideas. We hope more and more such interactions happen and we get to know more and more of you, share interesting ideas, do interesting things going forward. And thanks a lot for having us over here and for your patient listening. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, everyone.
To summarize today's session, Mr. Pathak discussed about new opportunities in crypto market, rapid growth of digitalization due to the crisis of COVID. We learned that how much reliable and efficient digitalization can be. We saw how blockchain created and increased the jobs availability exponentially. Development of blockchain in Jan 2020 is also one of the key points Sir has discussed, and how it will create jobs not only in private sector but in public sector as well. He made us aware about the scope of jobs in blockchain, whether it is blockchain developers, architect, administration, engineer, consultancy, etc. Mr. Pathak made us aware about various courses available at Crypto University and how we all should take advantage of them. Mr. Chawla discussed about why would someone go online. It really made me think about which I would never have even thought about before. How can we make gaming and business together with respect to blockchain? So it was an interesting point to think about as well. I would like to express my special thanks and gratitude to our both guest speakers, Mr. Ajoy Pathak and Mr. Devesh Chawla. Thank you so much, sir, for allowing us to host you.
Thank you so much, everyone. And we hope that, you will keep that curious element burning within you. Keep on ideating. Ideas are very much necessary, and ideas from young guys like you who has the energy today and can enhance those, can give shape to those ideas with the skills uh, is more than welcome. We'll be excited to seeing you and a bright future ahead.
Thank you so much, sir. This concludes today's session. Thank you, take care, and have a good day.
Same to you, all of you. Same to you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.